Old Lydia Campbell put on her coat and walked out through the door, slipped into her snowshoes and struck off down the shore, muzzle-loader on her back, game bag on her shoulder. -30, she supposed, but she was used to colder. She was well into her working day, the sun still on the rise. The youngsters fed, she'd made up bread, pork buns, and redberry pies. Her husband Dan was gone to hunt with Tom, her eldest son, to try their luck for caribou, their meat being almost gone. And she was off to check her snares this frosty Christmas Eve. Whatever nature sent her way she'd gratefully receive. But she found herself reflecting as she settled to her stride on thoughts she'd seldom time to think, the thoughts she kept inside. Oh, I don't suppose that I'm a girl no more. Be 69 next fall. But seems like I'm not useless yet. I suppose I does it all. Chopping wood and tending snares and hauling up the trout and raising motherless grandchildren. They needs me yet, no doubt. And I've buried one good man and 4 children of my own. Their graves the first thing comes in sight, arriving back to home. From our summer place in cul-de-sac, where we be's at the salmon, back to dear old Mulligan in our cozy winter cabin. And father came from England, didn't want King George's shilling, said the winter would have killed him if Susan wasn't willing. The native girl from down the bay her people treated hard, a wife for Ambrose Brooks and a friend for Will Fippard. And she's thought about her sister Hannah. Now there was someone tough. She got her share of birds and rabbits and all the minor stuff. She also got her share of seals and numerous caribou. And last month, armed with just a stick, she killed a carcashew. And oh, what fun they had sometimes, the tricks played on each other. Like once when Dan and Tom had sat down to their supper. They'd come home with 2 caribou, the hearts out in a pan. Young Tom had killed his first 2 deer, the proper little man. Next morning Tom went to the porch to get those hearts to bake, and then he let the big old screech, "There's 3 for goodness sakes!" Her and the kiddies laughed so hard they'd tricked the boys so nice. See, she'd killed a deer the day before out on the river ice. And visiting their neighbors so few and far between, cruising to Pearl River through the blue and white and green, the walk back in the moonlight, deerskins squeaking on the snow, the magic of the northern lights at 35 below. Yes, life was good, she supposed, although she'd seen the other side, when game was scarce and hunger fierce, then how the babies cried. It's then you knew what family meant, and share alike, and put your faith in God till once again the game would strike. She got home after dark that night, 3 rabbits to the good. The house was cold, so she made some splits and banked the fire with wood. The men arrived with caribou, a welcome sight to see. With one less worry on their plates, they sat down to their tea. And now 'twas Christmas Eve again, the tree all lit with candles. A soft glow filled this trapper's home as she trimmed and lit the mantles. A mix of bread was in to bake, the scent filled up the house, as Dan read to the sleepy girls. Not even one old mouse? A storm was blowing in from the east and could probably blow for days, but they were ready for the worst, knew nature's winter ways. The wood box piled to the top, their food supply secure, her family well and happy, Lydia couldn't want for more. And as wind tore at the cabin and the snow lay deep outside, old Lydia sat back in her chair and sighed a happy sigh. The kitchen stove glowed cherry red and cast a pleasant heat. How good is it at all, she thought, and drifted off to sleep.